Thank you, Doug. I'm honored to be here tonight, and my name is Raina Lingaman, and I'm here to honor the Bonnie Doon firefighters who were unbelievable, specifically in our neighborhood, but all over Bonnie Doon. But I thought that I should give you a little background to understand this award and its recipients. You have to understand what home means to this group of people. Um, and to my family, where we live in Bonnie Doon, home isn't simply a beautiful house that we bought a decade ago, but our mountain is filled with families who've lived next to each other for 45, 50 years, multi-generational families, all of us who've kind of moved back onto our parents' land. And we share this mountain we know so well with all these miles of trails connecting us. My dad moved here 70 years ago and used to ride his horse to Bald Mountain School right up the road. And I was born in a trailer next door on the property. So true hippie, long-term Bonnie Doon residents. And all of us here know every acre of this land. And until August, we did not know what we would do to protect it, but we found out that most of us would do anything. When the CZU Lightning Complex fire began closing in on Bonnie Doon from three sides, we were told to evacuate. However, many of us did, but my dad wouldn't leave. And he stayed alone with his tractor and his fire pump and some water tanks. He's been a water well driller for years, and he stayed, and we were very worried. And then something phenomenal happened. The weather worked in our favor, and one by one, people started showing up to help my dad fight for their land. And with tractors and dirt bikes for scouting and water trucks and shovels, communicating by walkie-talkie, they held the fire back. And it was the most incredible community effort that I've ever seen, and kept the fire from burning actually all the way to the ocean. So we live pretty far from the ocean, but it would have gone that way. And if it weren't for this group of people, sparked by my dad's refusal to leave his beloved mountain, we would be mourning the loss of our homes and land right now. So this award, I am so proud to present, is for the power of our community that worked selflessly to save every home one at a time, and really for all of Bonnie Doon, where the same spirit played out neighborhood after neighborhood. And if you look at the map, you can see some green spots, and those were all due to just people coming together. And we're so grateful. So without further ado, I'd like to introduce my dad, John Lingaman, who is great on a tractor, but never uses Zoom. So hopefully we can get this going.
Howdy, can you hear me? No.
Yes, we can. Yep.
Oh, you can. Great. I've got a hoarse voice, so I think part of my charisma is that I'm the oldest guy up here, and I've known all these young people since, a lot of them since they were born. And actually I see that Joe Ben is one of the sponsors of Santa Cruz Works, and he's one of our neighbors off to our north who stayed and fought this fire with his whole gang of people that he has up there. And on our southern border, we had Charlie Springmeyer, who's just the boyfriend of our neighbor. And really what I want to emphasize in this acknowledgement that you folks have given us here is that what was truly amazing, actually, my daughter said people just spontaneously started coming up, and some of that happened, but a lot of it was because she was all over Facebook and whatever else she was on, hollering at people to come up and get me out of here. And every time they came up, I would take them back and show them the fire, and that Mother Nature was treating us kindly. There was no wind. So I was confident that we could fight this fire. And once, my neighbors, a lot of them are, they're not kids anymore. They're in their 30s, 40s, 20s, and their parents. We were able to keep an internet connection. So it was through this phenomenal new technology that all of a sudden people heard that we were up here fighting the fire, and they started coming, and they just kept coming, and we kept expanding our fire breaks and our lines because we had the labor to do that. And I guess it really speaks to the core of human nature, that we are a social being, and that we had some fellows show up. I think we called them the Euros because they were two Italians and a German fellow, and I kept scratching my head wondering what on earth brought them here. They came from San Francisco, and they were just friends of some of our neighbors that heard that we were fighting the fire, and they showed up. So they overcame their fear of fire. And this kind of community spirit is what I'm hearing from all these different groups that you've acknowledged tonight. So I want to thank you from the bottom of my heart for all the people that showed up and came here and fought this fire. And I just want to say that it is a real, with all the political strife and stuff we've seen, it's a real amazing thing to me to see that we can overcome all of that and come together during a time of need and fight a fire like this. Thank you.
Hey, John, thank you so much. And thank you for all the work you and the Joby crew did up there. I mean, it's just, will you call me next time? If this ever happens, just call me. I didn't even know I could get up there, but I would love to help.
I'd like to say one more thing that blew me away is that with the police blocking all the roads into Bonnie Doon, and we had people riding bicycles through the woods, and we had housewives driving down to the police lines, and other people bringing up food to the police lines and transferring it and then bringing it up here. And then all of a sudden in the middle of this, that World Central Kitchen shows up and brings us food. And I had just heard an NPR, I don't know if any of you listen to How I Built This, but they interviewed that Jose, I can't remember his last name, but who started World Central Kitchen. And it was amazing. It just blew me away that these people were let through by the police and showed up to feed us. So thank them.